Hey everybody, and welcome to a brand new installment of Nintendo News Report. I just knocked out my headphones for July 30th, 2015. I am your host, Alexander Kalafi, and today I'm joined by Zachary Miller. Hi, Zach.
Hi, everybody.
And Donald Terrio.
We almost lost Alex to a Smash Brothers update.
The Smash Bros. Okay, so the Smash Bros. Update's happening. I'm gonna be a sweaty disaster for the next 45 minutes, so I apologize in advance. It's like 85 degrees in Boston right now, and I have to turn my phone off for you guys. Anyways, Smash Bros. Update is happening right now, and not only that, but the KK Slider suit is free. The KK Slider fursuit is 100% free, and that's the only one I wanted in the first place. So I am over the fucking moon right now.
You don't want the King K. Rool trolling
Oh
stuff?
my god. Okay. You know what? We gotta save that. That's the treat of the show. We're gonna save that for a little while. That's not the top story this week. But we just wanted to say breaking news, everybody. As we start this, the Smash Bros. Update is happening, and there is a KK Slider suit that is totally free and involved. You're welcome. Moving to the actual top story this week, Dragon Quest XI is in fact happening. The logo leaked like a day in advance. And this release is kind of crazy. It reminds me of Rodea the Sky Soldier. Square Enix had this press conference, and they announced the next main entry in the Dragon Quest series is coming to 3DS, PS4, and Nintendo's next console, codenamed the NX. And what's crazy is that, like the Rodea the Sky Soldier, there's going to be like weird multiple versions of this game made by different developers, or at least assisted by different developers, depending on the platform. We haven't seen the NX version yet, obviously, but the 3DS version is kind of like a Pokemon X and Y situation, where it's in 3D, but it's also like on a locked grid. But it's also kind of different because there's also an option to switch out a 2D palette swap where all the 3D RPG becomes a 2D RPG. And then the PS4 version is a proper 3D HD console RPG, which I am very excited about.
Yeah, and the PS4 one's going to be running Unreal Engine 4, which of course set everybody off into thinking, oh, we have confirmation that the NX is going to run UE4, which we don't really know, because for all we know, the next thing that Nintendo releases is a handheld that gets a port of Dragon Quest XI's 3DS version.
Right. The NX, we don't know what form or forms that's taking it, so that really could be the 3DS version or the PS4 version. I would... Actually, no, it probably is the next main home console, at the very least, unless there are two systems named the NX. But that's us getting ahead of ourselves. That's something we have speculated about before and will speculate about in the future. But like I said, the 3DS version is super cool because, as you can see in the news story on our website, there are options to basically palette swap it at any time between a full 3D RPG that looks kind of like X and Y, or a Dragon Quest IX, or a classic-ass 2D JRPG, which looks like something that's like the Super Nintendo, but like higher res. There is no solid release date or release period that's been released, but it sounds like next year, early 2017 for Japan.
Yeah.
The big question, of course, is whether this will be coming to the West, and the only official word is from the Dragon Quest Twitter account, and I'm pleasantly surprised that they have an official Dragon Quest Twitter account. But they did two tweets. They said, "I've been told the team will consider bringing Dragon Quest XI to the West as we have done in the past for other Dragon Quest games, but I don't see anything else. And some clarification has been obtained about the two worlds." Oh wait, no, that was the only main tweet. There were two. One was setting it up. One was setting up the, we will consider it in the same way we've considered other Dragon Quest games in the past. And which is funny because I'm pretty sure like 11 of the last 12 Dragon Quest games that have been announced in the last 5 years have actually not made it to the West.
Yeah, the 3DS alone is 0 for 8 right now on Dragon Quest. Mm-hmm. And the only ones we have any real possibility of seeing are 7 and 8, which apparently got announced in Paris, but I would, at this point, I would probably commit some illegal acts for a version of Theater Rhythm Dragon Quest that actually worked on my 3DS, but I don't think that's going to happen. Which is
Sure.
a
I
damn
want
shame.
that too, baby. Oh my God.
And the worst part is, it didn't do so well in Japan, so to the point that it's $15 on PlayAsia right now. But it's a Japanese version, so of course it's region locked.
Wow. Of course.
Yep. One of the things that bugged me, so the Dragon Quest battle system was shown off a little bit. I like how it was shown off on 3DS. It looks a lot more fluid than it's been in the past. Like it looks like a free-flowing system, but in a pleasant way, not in like a Final Fantasy 13 kind of way. What bugged me a little bit was I was watching
Maybe in
the
a
PS4
Xenoblade
version.
way?
Maybe in a Xenoblade way. Well, no. It's not active. It is like a proper turn-based JRPG. It
Oh,
just
okay.
looks and runs very smoothly, and like it has a snappiness to it, which I appreciated.
Okay.
The PS4 version, I don't know if it was because it wasn't ready or they just didn't get around to it, but I didn't really see any battle footage from that game. So I have no idea how that's looking. I wouldn't be surprised if that was just an approximation of the 3DS version. But like, I only played like 10 hours of Dragon Quest IX, and that's my only experience ever with the series. I kind of enjoyed it, but didn't like necessarily appreciate the level of freedom it gave you. It does the same thing Etrian Odyssey does in Dragon Quest IX, at least, where you basically create all of your party members from scratch, which I'm not a big fan of. Either like options are always good, but I always appreciate it when at least the supporting characters are core developed written characters. And I don't know what Dragon Quest XI's plan is, but I'm hoping if it is a proper like traditional JRPG, I will be very excited for at least whatever the superior version of this game is.
Certainly, not to toot my own horn, but I just posted my review of Etrian Odyssey Untold 2, the Fafnir Night, on the website, and in that game's story mode, you do get pre-made story-based written characters.
Okay, that's cool.
So hopefully maybe that'll be an option in Dragon Quest XI.
Does it do the same thing as the first Etrian Odyssey Untold? I guess you wouldn't know for comparison's sake. What Etrian Odyssey did was that there were pretty much two versions of the game. One where it kind of like gave you a more constructed game, and one where it was more fully up to you to create your own party members.
Yeah, that's in this game too. There's that one you're talking about, a classic mode where you can create, I think, up to like 25 characters, which seems insane, and then swap them out when you want to.
Yep. Okay, that's Dragon Quest XI. Are we excited about this?
I'm excited about it. I really like Dragon Quest.
Cool. And you, Donald?
I'll be excited when I find out it's coming to the West on a platform I can play it on. So whether that's next handheld or 3DS, maybe, because I mean Dragon Quest IX, the last traditional Dragon Quest that came out in the West, that was new,
good.
And it sold over 1 million. So it may just be a point where we're going to get the new games, but not the remakes and spin-offs. And if that's the case, well, okay, I can deal with that every few years.
There's also the matter of Dragon Quest X, which is coming to the NX also, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
That is very weird. I thought, I don't know how that game's doing in Japan right now. I guess it made a lot of buzz when it first came out, but then kind of at least fell off for us here in the West. Yeah.
Because it's a 4Pay MMO, it's getting, as long as they have a consistent 200,000 or 300,000 people paying whatever yen it is per month for it, Square is happy with it, even if it's not doing the numbers of a Dragon Quest game. Like, Dragon Quest X is the worst selling game numbered Dragon Quest in history. Even worse than 1, but they've got 300,000 or 400,000 people paying the equivalent of $15 a month, basically, to keep playing it. Plus, there's cosmetic things you can buy over and above that. So they're probably making more money than any Dragon Quest in history, even if they didn't sell as many copies.
Interesting.
All right. that is your Dragon Quest talk for the episode. Moving on, we got some, not a new release this week, but more of a sale, or the release of some games that are surprising. Kirby celebrated a birthday, or at least it's celebrating a birthday on August 1st, and in celebration, 3 Kirby games come out in North America this week on the Wii U eShop. Those games are Kirby Squeak Squad for the Nintendo DS originally, Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards originally on N64, and Kirby's Return to Dreamland on Wii, the first Wii game on the Wii U Virtual Console in the West since January 20th, right?
Good God.
Was there another one?
It's the first good one since January 20th, but it's the first one since January 27th.
Okay, big difference. Well,
Yeah.
big difference in the case of facts, but like, as a consumer, that's been a real long time.
It's been 6 months since we've had a Wii game on the eShop.
It's been half of a calendar year.
Maybe they just forgot they could do that.
I was thinking about that a lot, because I don't feel like there would be any reason why they would be intentionally holding stuff back. Like maybe they just they just kind of forgot. Is that a possibility? Like maybe they were focused on other stuff, like they were concerned with other things for North America.
Concerned with all the other games coming out on Wii U this year.
You know, instead of
crowd the market.
Instead of having a summer game, they have just a bunch of updates for 2 games that came out a couple months ago and 7 or 8 months ago.
That's actually true.
Yup. But you know what? They're doing a real good job
with on the weekly.
Yeah, you know what? They've been doing such a good job with Splatoon updates, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But these Kirby games, I've never played Squeak Squad. Kirby 64 doesn't look that great, but maybe it's great. And then Kirby's Return to Dreamland is the one Kirby game I've ever actually enjoyed.
I want to play it. I don't want to play it for $20, but I want to play it.
You've never played that one?
No. I missed it.
And you like Kirby.
I do.
Get it. Eventually, some context.
Yeah,
go ahead, Donald.
Yeah, I think with Return to Dreamland, physical copies of that game were going for like $70-$75.
It's insane.
As of 2 days ago, and I bought a copy of the Wii game from EB Games for $40 back in January.
Wow.
So this coming out even at $20 is a bargain based on its current pricing. Now, would it have been nice if they had brought the discount in? Sure. But, I mean, I'm looking at paying $25 to convert that game to digital before sales tax.
Yeah, that is nice. And I can save my pennies for the Dream Collection, which I still need to buy.
Yeah, if you can find it.
Oh, there are a few stores up here that I know that have it. I know Target still has it.
Yeah, and that'll get you 64, because I haven't played Squeak Squad. I played a little bit of 64. It was okay, but those like that 2, 3, 64 trilogy never really clicked with me for some reason.
Is 64 unofficially or officially considered the third part of a Kirby trilogy with 2D games?
Yeah, Neil actually did an article on the website today about the director of that game, who apparently might have passed away 10 years ago.
Oh wow!
But 2, 3, and 64 have like ability combining and the animal friend mascots, and the final boss in all the games is Dark Matter. So it's sort of the Dark Matter trilogy.
Okay.
And I think that it's been so long since I played it, but I think in Kirby 64, once you beat Dark Matter, you get to an even bigger, blobbier boss that's white, named White Matter or something, with a red eye. It looks real creepy. It's a good game. I mean, it's real slow though. It's a slow-ass game.
That is a problem I have. That is a problem I have with most Kirby games.
Now, Alex, if you want a challenging Kirby game, Kirby's Dream Land 3 is actually pretty hardcore.
Is that the one that's on the Super Nintendo that no one ever talks about?
Yeah, and it looks kind of like Yoshi's Island.
So it has like a weird clay aesthetic, right?
No, it has kind of a a drawn aesthetic. Everything looks like it's
It
painted.
has a weird visual style compared to
Yeah,
other Kirby games.
yeah. It's
Okay,
where they
yes, I
started
have that one.
experimenting with the visuals in Kirby.
I think I actually have that one on this Wii U, in fact.
As do
But
I.
I have
It's
only
hard as
of
hell
it.
for a Kirby game.
It's a bizarre game, and like that was a weird Nintendo game to play because I had never heard of it like before that. I didn't even know it
Really?
really existed, and I don't even think I've seen screenshots of it until I actually played it. I just saw that it was a Kirby game, and I was like, oh, I'll give it one of these a shot for some Club Nintendo points.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll give that a chance if you're wholeheartedly recommending it.
Yeah, it's a
Okay,
good Kirby
cool.
game. It's hard though.
Excellent. So that's Kirby. Now moving on to news, let's finally talk about the Smash update, though. So the Smash update, which just came out, included a surprise KK Slider fursuit. I'm so excited. I'm so
And
happy.
hat.
It's free. It's the one I wanted. It was one of those things where yes, the hat too, because they teased it a couple months back on the website, like with some other upcoming DLC, but it never came out, and I was so frustrated. But now it's out, and it's free, which is so great. So some of the other stuff. There is the long-promised tournament mode, replay uploading, and support for the Smash Bros. Stages from the classic game, Peach's Castle and Hyrule Castle from the N64 game. New Mii costumes, including Chrom, what's it called?
K. Rool.
King K. Rool.
Lloyd
A
Urban.
bear. You can be a bear now.
Brawler. Yup. And then there's a bear, and then there's one more, right? There's another animal.
Let's see, we've got the Flying Men from the Earthbound
Flying Men.
series.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't publicize these, but they've also got the Black Knight from Fire Emblem, and Samus armor.
Okay, that's
Just
cool.
play as Samus.
Well,
Actually, it does feel redundant given that there is a shooter that plays like almost like a weird version of Samus.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's talk about K. Rool. Go ahead, Donald. You had something?
yeah, because I'm buying this stuff like as we speak here, but
Okay.
basically I'm just getting the stages and the two and the Flying Men and Lloyd from Tales of Symphonia. Those are the ones I'm in for.
Okay.
I like that hoodie.
So,
I like the Smash Championship hoodie.
So was that newly announced? So
Yeah.
that's in the DLC section now. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's talk about K. Rool because that is the most interesting thing objectively about this entire update. That like not 24 hours before this DLC was announced, there was trademarks that came out for King K. Rool. Like they'd either renewed something or they had placed these trademarks. Either way, there was reason to believe that King K. Rool would come back for Smash as a DLC character in this whole Smash poll thing, which would not be that surprising because it's clear that whoever the winner is, it's probably King K. Rool unless there's someone else we don't know about. Because people tried to rig King K. Rool, and then also when other websites would be doing their polling on who you voted for, King K. Rool always like came in first with a power gap right behind him. So it was clear that there was something. And then 24 hours later, this suit gets announced, which is probably the most disappointing thing in American history. Which is, and I don't say that lightly. Because, like, imagine, like, getting this glimmer of hope for this character you wanted, who's not been represented in the Donkey Kong Country Return games, or in anything since, like, those crazy Donkey Kong Country cartoons. So it was wild to see him come back, especially since he comes from a game, from a studio that is now working for Microsoft. That wouldn't have anything to do with the trademarks, but it just made things a little weirder. He'd clearly been put in the chest for a very long time, and now they're taking him out for a Mii costume. Do we think that this is what they're doing instead of a fighter, or is this what they're doing to set up a fighter?
Instead of, or neither.
Or it's okay. Donald?
Sakurai lives to troll, and that's how he stays so young. Is he draws all of your tears into his body to keep his youth. But I can see this sort of being a replacement. Like, we see that there is this demand for K. Rool. You know, I don't know if he's winning the poll because, quite frankly, we're not going to know until the poll closes in October whether or not he's actually going to come in as a character. But at least this could represent that he's doing well in the poll, and they maybe say, okay, you want to prove that there's a demand for this character, you go buy the costume.
No.
I also have this theory of sorts that might not be representative, because Sakurai seems like the kind of guy who wants to put every single thing he can in each game, assuming it's going to be the last one ever. But I feel like there are some characters that either him or the Smash Bros. Team, or which would probably end up being Namco in some respects for Smash Bros. Or Nintendo, like there might be some characters that they would intentionally want to save for the next console Smash release, since we're running out of heavy hitters. Like, that's why I think there's no chance in hell of us getting Splatoon representatives as DLC in this game, because they need to be in Smash 5 when that exists, because there's not enough main characters left. And I wonder if K. Rool is on this special list for, we're saving him for the next console game. If we spend him now, we're not going to have as many super interesting characters to deal with. We would rather look at these super... even more niche fan favorites that we probably wouldn't have put in the game otherwise.
Like Wonder Red or something like that?
Wonder Red would be a perfect fighter for this poll, except for the fact that only 100,000 people played that game. And like, I think a lot of people would be really upset if he ended up in the game, but he's the perfect contender.
Although it could be throwing Platinum a bone to keep them on good terms with Nintendo for NX developments. Like, yeah, this game may not have done well, but we're going to throw you a bone anyway. It's not like every person who bought that game is stuffing the ballot box for Wonder Red, because I know personally I bought Wonderful 101, but I used all my votes up on Chie from Persona 5 or Persona 4. Happy birthday.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Imagine if that happened. If out of all the characters in the Nintendo universe, Chie won. Not even the protagonist from Persona 4.
She's already in 2 fighting games that I don't play.
Imagine if a waifu won as the next Nintendo character. And what if they announced her at next E3 as their big one last thing?
God.
And Zach, I don't know how much you play Street Fighter. Ryu's already in the game. There's precedent for fighting games.
Yeah, all right, yeah. He's pretty good, too.
Naka beats the meat.
Hey, Donald.
Yeah?
Hey, Donald, when does Persona 4 Golden turn into a game?
7 hours
At
in.
what hour mark do I get to play it?
How many hours are you in? Where are you
like
specifically?
2.
Okay, where are you now?
I beat the Friends Persona, and then Teddy knocked us back into the real world.
Okay, all right, we're not going to stay on this for too long, but Zach,
Good.
here's what's going to happen. You're going to end up going back to the real world for a little more visual noveliness. Then you're going to get into the first real dungeon of the game. It's going to be a pain in the ass. It's the worst dungeon in the game, and you kind of just have to grind through it. But once you get through that dungeon, which will probably be at the 7 or 8 hour mark, it turns into one of the best games I've ever played. For the other 9
Why did I buy that stupid game? Good God!
Donald, back me up. Back me up, Don.
Yeah. Alex is right.
It's like when people say, just play through the first 13 hours of Final Fantasy 13 and then it gets good. It
doesn't suck. Like, it's still good for the first 6 or 7 hours, but the worst parts are at the beginning of that game.
Great.
That's the fact, but it's one of those games that I truly think is worth getting over that hump.
Right. Okay. I trust you.
Okay. Let's talk about the Splatoon update. On August 5th, my 21st birthday, a free software update is coming for Splatoon, which is bringing new content to the game, including 2 new matchmaking modes, which are
tag team matches and actual friend battles. So we will actually be able to have Splat nights.
Okay.
We can have an NWR tournament.
Yes, we will be able to do that, and I would be shocked if we did not immediately. There is also an increase to the game's level cap from level 20 to level 50.
Good God.
And more than 40 pieces of new bets. Some of that is going to be weapons to fill in those actually leveling up to level 50. More content will continually roll out through the rest of the summer and fall, including the Rainmaker, additional maps, and new weapons, which means to me that whatever leaked on the disc is not nearly the end of the content or the free content they plan on supporting for this game, which is really nice to hear. Let me just say, the past couple days, I ended up finally hitting level 20 in Splatoon. I actually got up to B- and then got thrown back to C+ and kind of quit for a little while in ranked. And then I'm got like 28 hours into the full game. I think I'm actually done playing Splatoon.
Oh, yeah?
I'm
getting there myself, and I'm only at level 13.
I wanted to hit the cap at level 20 so I don't feel bad when I don't hit the cap to level 50, because the problem with this game is that even though they're doing a great job of adding new content, there's not enough content for me personally to justify leveling up to level 50. And if I actually try to play this game to level 50, which I could because the gameplay is still incredible, still super addicting, this game will no longer be a lock for my top 3 game of the year. I will grow to hate this game if I grind it out 30 more levels.
Oh, yeah. Well, my problem with it is that a week after that level cap hits, half the players will have gotten to level 50 because they don't have jobs, and I'll be at level 18, and I'll be thrown into matches with guys who are all level 45 and 50, kind of like what I am now. Everyone else in the world is at level 20, and I get boned every time I play.
The thing about Splatoon is that, like, it's not like Call of Duty where you can kind of sometimes judge a book by its cover. In Splatoon, like, there are a lot of C- or C+ who can actually, like, go to bat with the B+ in ranked. And there are level 20s or eventually level 50s who can go to bat with some of the level 8s. Like, I consider myself relatively decent at Splatoon. I feel like if I'm playing against other casual people like ourselves, I would do relatively well. Like, I'm pretty good with the Splattershot Junior, still my favorite main weapon.
Mine too, actually. Like, it's a really good weapon.
It's I think the best weapon in that game outside of the gold dynamo roller. I have no respect for you if you use that. Unless you're watching the show, I love you even if you're using the gold dynamo roller. But if you're not watching the show and you are using a gold dynamo roller, I don't love you. I want you to know that. And you won't because you're not watching the show, but I want you to know
You're playing Splatoon instead.
Yeah.
The gold dynamo roller is a super good weapon. Either way, I could hold my own and I could be pretty decent, and it took me like 28 hours to hit level 20 because I was just playing the game at such a comfortably slow pace.
I just started playing single player. I'm like, I'm not going to get to level 20 anytime soon. Fuck it.
The point is, it's very easy to... It's not challenging to hold your own if you're... Like, you can get tools very early in the game that can let you compete with anyone else who's playing at level 20 or eventually level 50, which I think is one of the cool things. Everyone is on a relatively even playing field with the exception of experience and skill. So that's
what I want to know is how long is it going to take somebody to go from 20 to 50? Like, I want you
a week.
I'm going lower than that. I say by the time we go to air next week, there's going to be somebody level 50.
Oh God, yeah, you're probably right.
And as soon as that happens, I want to know about it. Hit me up on Twitter as soon as you see a level 50.
We're going to be doing check-ins on that Thursday, probably. We would probably end up recording on that Thursday. Actually, yeah. Actually, you know what? The update's coming out on August 5th, which means there will be one day between when the update comes out and when we record this show. And I want to see how high people have gotten. I'm guessing there won't be people level 50. There will be people like level 37, and that'll be somehow even more scary.
Yeah. Unless they change the way the experience curves to make it easier to go from 20 to 50 in a decent amount of time. Because I'm level 16. At the rate I'm gaining experience, because I really suck at ranked battles, I'm not going to hit 50 until probably Splatoon comes out in 3 years.
Yeah, same.
If they rebalance the experience and the fact you're not going 1 to 20, you're going 1 to 50, then there may be people hitting that level cap faster than we think.
Yeah.
Sure. All right, moving on to Super Mario Maker. There are new details for the Super Mario Maker video game. The Japanese website for Super Mario Maker is updated with a bunch of new information about the titles. The main thing is the Amiibo thing called Costume Mario that shows off several of Mario's transformations to every single Amiibo in the game so far that is a figure. Is that correct?
There is 99 different Amiibo slots for that game. So that's pretty much going to cover every Amiibo, plus probably some of the Animal Crossing Amiibo cards. Okay,
so that, you know what I bet that'll include? I bet that includes one slot for every single Smasher in Smash Bros. I bet that includes one for multiple versions of, like, I bet the Super Mario Party one, like the Mario Party one, will be a different Mario than the Mario Smash. Like, I bet there's chance for also those. The other thing is, you don't even need the Amiibo to unlock these by playing the 100 Mario Challenge, which sounds like some mode where you see how many levels you can beat in a row that are random levels selected over the internet. And I bet you unlock one, like, for every further spot you get, probably past the first. We don't know that much about 100 Mario Challenge, but it sounds like you'll probably unlock these gradually as you get further and can play more levels, probably without dying.
Yeah.
So I bet there's a chance that there are some that aren't represented as an Amiibo yet, or might not be. I am so excited for the Duck Hunt in this game.
I want to see. I can't wait to get Sonic in this game, just because it'd be.
Yeah.
Sonic in an 8-bit Mario platformer. That sound you hear is the sound of every child's brain exploding in 1993.
Or something that actually does exist in several Brazilian fan hacks as we speak.
But they've also it also seems to include all of the Pokemon Amiibo, which the Pokemon Company has been very reticent to let players use outside of Smash Brothers. So you're going to get.
Pikachu can do something. Pikachu can do something.
Finally, there's going to be a use for Jigglypuff besides humiliating Reggie.
Aww,
look at
Jiggly's my secondary.
Look at these. We are probably going to have one for Villager, which is going to be great. We are going to have one for Little Mac. Little Mac is going to be playing Mario levels.
We are going to have
a Pikachu one and a well, I only have 4, but I'm excited about 4 of these.
I wonder if I got a pretty nice collection back there. I wonder if my Splatoon. I wonder if the Squid's going to have a level.
Oh, that would be amazing.
You know what? I bet all 3 of the Splatoon characters will have levels. That'll be crazy. A Splatoon character getting representation of Mario platformer. Also, here's a question I have. Do we know if these are only usable on the Mario 1 levels?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. Because they have to do 8 bits for it. The problem is the transforming mushroom that they have is that item slot is taken up by, like, the leaf in Mario 3, the cape in World, and I think the propeller suit in the new Super Mario U levels.
Okay, and that's probably a physics issue, because it's probably very simple to get like every character to fit in the Mario proportions and just make fun sound effects, because there's no functional difference between these. Once you get into the more realistic Mario U territory, things get a little trickier.
I will enjoy seeing the Bowser Amiibo shrunk down to Mario's size.
Bowser saving Princess Peach from himself. Or Peach saving Peach from herself. From Bowser. That would be cool.
I also just want to say this is like my favorite episode of the show that I've ever done, because as time goes on, Alex gets hotter and more glistening and his hair has developed a Superman-esque curl, and it's pretty great.
Well,
You can watch him dying in real time.
I am a complete disaster.
Don't you have AC?
But I can't turn it on because I'm doing a... Look, it's like my fucking neck.
Yeah, I can see my reflection in your neck.
This is why...
Alex, you should go towel off because we have some business to do involving Sonic Amiibo, actually.
Okay, I'll be back in like 5 minutes. You keep busy. I'm gonna dry off. And then I'm gonna come back, and then 5 minutes later, you won't have noticed I toweled off in the first place.
All right. So while Alex is cleaning up a bit here, for the last several weeks, we've been running a contest on Nintendo World Report, the Summer of Amiibo. Basically, Carmine Red's done with this junk, and he's getting rid of everything. And he's giving it to you, the listeners, and the readers.
Man.
So this week, we've been drafted to go give away Carmine's Sonic Amiibo. So what you're going to do is you're going to send an email to contest@nintendoworldreport.com. The subject line is Summer of Amiibo, Week 6. And in the body of that email, you have to include the word bounce pad.
Bounce pad, P-A-D.
Yeah. So here's your instructions for those who are not listening to the show for some reason. But yes, so you will have until this coming Wednesday to send all of this to the email address listed right here and have a chance to win a Sonic Amiibo. I have to also say, for legal reasons, if you've won previously, you cannot enter again. So that villager behind me means that my current roommate cannot enter this contest. So yeah, that's the Summer of Amiibo contest, and it looks like Alex is almost ready to rejoin us.
Just keep in mind that Sonic Amiibo is never good.
Okay.
Although he will be very useful in Super Mario Maker to make some utterly mind-blowing levels that look like they came out of a ROM hack.
True.
And Donald, you made sure it actually showed the password, right?
Yep.
Yep, I saw it.
Okay. So you guys know those scenes in like movies and video games where like there's a hole that spouts water coming out of the ground, and then the character tries to like plug it up, and then another like spout of water comes out somewhere else.
Yeah.
So like as I was wiping up the sweat like on parts of my body, and I got to a new part, new sweat was forming in the bathroom. My body is a disaster. So let's. Yes.
I don't know why I'm fine, and I'm in a similar climate to you. I guess I'm in a basement apartment though, so that helps.
I need a passport to get to where you are, Donald.
Yeah.
It's 65 degrees here.
Yeah,
No, my wife says it's 68, but I am in the shade. I'm in the house.
I'm gonna give you the weather report. Weather.com. Let's see what Boston's at right now.
The sad thing is, Alex, you could probably drive up here in under a day.
It's 76 degrees only, but it's also 10:20 p.m. So,
oh God!
Yeah.
What's the humidity?
You know what? I haven't laid on my blankets yet, but my blankets are sweaty right now.
All right.
Let's finish up the show. We have one more story, and then I can turn both of my fans back. Okay, there's the N box. Nintendo is rumored to be planning to sell a subscription box off their online store in the UK. Oh man, I didn't know that was just the UK. Like that's breaking news to me. The service will be known as the N box, and every box will come to customers full of random Nintendo goodies, similar to other subscription box services like Loot Crate and whatnot. The Amiibo one was for what it's worth. I think that subscription was kind of nuts too. Anyways, it's the rumor is it'll start in September, and customers can buy one box or a subscription that lasts 3, 6, or 12 months. I bet. Do we know what Loot Crate goes for right now for a year? I can find that out if we don't.
I seem to remember it's $20 a month, but the only thing I know about their pricing is that they have podcast ads on occasion.
Yeah, so they're in the whole nature box and whatnot gang of places where that show up, and Sherry's Berries, among other fine products.
Alex, let's not go there. Bad things happened last time we did.
Oh, well, we're referencing something other people don't know. So Donald James Jones and I recorded a podcast during E3 that's never going to see the light of day because it started as like a talk about the RPG stuff at Nintendo's E3 and then turned into James seductively reading off Nature Box ads, and it ended up being completely unintelligible to anyone who wasn't us three. So there's that.
Sounds amazing.
That it was a fine podcast. I would have been embarrassed if it never got out. And you know what? No files exist of it anymore.
Yeah, I intentionally nuked my file the minute we stopped recording.
Okay, here's something that actually is relevant. A Loot Crate. If you buy a recurring 1-month plan, it's $13.95 a month, plus $6 shipping and handling, so $19.95 for 1 month recurring. So you do it like a pay-as-you-go kind of thing. $57.75 for 3 months, $113.70 for 6 months, and $215.40 for a 1-year plan. I wouldn't be surprised if there was something like that because it sounds like whatever these boxes are would be an assortment of like shirts, figures, stuffed toys. Plushie, exactly. Like
they're trying to get rid of their old Nintendo Power Club stock,
or their old Club Nintendo stock, because it's running off a European store, like it's only in the UK for now.
Oh yeah.
So the only two people I can think of who would be crazy enough to try to import that stuff, one's Justin Berube and the other one's a forum moderator.
Yeah. I don't know how closely this is tied to Nintendo or if they found this out from some distributor. Because if this is a Nintendo worldwide initiative, it would obviously come to the West.
Right.
Or the other West.
Yeah, it would come to North America, but it's being run by Nintendo's online store, which is run by a British retailer called The Hut.
Okay. Yeah, and also, like, for whatever reason, the UK versions of companies, like North American, totally different situation. But I think back to like how Atlas games have a completely independent path from like development to shelf in the UK than they do in North America. And I don't know. I guess I just wonder if this is something that could only happen in the UK, or if this is something that could actually come to North America as part of some greater Nintendo initiative. I hope so, because if you can give me 12 months of this for $150 and guarantee that I'm going to get like 4 T-shirts, a few plushies, and some good Pokemon merchandise, I'd probably do it.
I'd probably do it too, to be honest.
150. I don't know if I would do 215. I would do 150.
Yeah, because at 215, it's enough for a year. But at that point, they better be throwing in like Unicorn Amiibo.
A special rarity.
An Iwata Amiibo.
Oh, that I would buy an Iwata Amiibo that ended up like having its proceeds donated to charity. But then again, who wouldn't?
I would.
If they're at the very least. I think this could be cool if, like let's say this month's box is devoted to Kirby, this month's box is devoted to Pokemon. I wouldn't mind, like, just doing a pay-as-you-go thing, like, and just like, okay, I like Pokemon, I like Animal Crossing, I like X, Y, and Z. I'm gonna get these 2 or 3 crates, end up paying a little more per crate, but get the stuff I want.
Yeah.
Like, I would be down for that, too. Like, I'm open to surprises, and I'm open to having excuses to get new Nintendo merchandise, because, like, I never really buy Nintendo shirts or Nintendo plushies or Nintendo figures.
Yeah, me neither.
So this is, like, a decent excuse to, like, at least have some more of that stuff in my collection. The only exception is, like, stuff I either get, like, Amiibos or this thing, which, like, limited edition stuff that I get as part of a greater package, which is exactly what this would be.
Is that a good quality figure? Or is it kind of cake toy-y?
It's a hard plastic. It obviously doesn't have any joints, but
Yeah.
like the build quality is shockingly nice.
Okay.
These figures are so up in the air. I
No wonder.
believe
Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't get it because I thought it would look like crap when out of the box.
so for a $10 premium on Majora's Mask, that was really good. I remember
Yeah.
the Resistance 2 Collector's Edition had a Chimera figure, which was an incredible quality. It
Yeah.
was like it was actually like a proper $20 like figure. But then again, there's also the Resident Evil 5 Collector's Edition,
Which
which
I bought stupidly.
I actually showed off the Chris Redfield figure that came with that on like one of the first few episodes of Nintendo News Report. It is a disaster.
Mine
It's one of the
freaking broke.
worst things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Mine broke before I opened it. I don't know where its left leg is, and
Yeah.
it's like 2 inches tall, and its face is just like a smudge of paint.
It is.
It's a real disaster. Look up Chris Redfield Resident Evil 5 figure. It's a proper mess.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's Nintendo News Report this week. I need to turn on a fan, everybody,
Doing
and
it.
I need to be able to dress up as a dog in my favorite Nintendo fighting game.
Oh God.
You mean party game, but whatever.
my favorite professional, the only fighting game, in fact.
Of course.
I need to go turn on a fan and dress up as a dog. I'll see you guys next week. Z Miller 1902, Donald
What?
Nick, Kulafia. Next week, probably on Thursday, probably 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Maybe we'll see how everyone's doing.
Yeah.
I'm aiming for a normal time and date again. That's our show. God bless.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.